here at the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center. Are we ever fortunate today to have with us Andy Holland, who's a very busy person. These days, she's wearing several hats over at the center. And so I'm happy you were able to take time to come and share this afternoon with us.
Thank you,
Well,
Pat.
Let's find out what's going on. Fill us in.
Okay, well, this coming Friday night, September the 9th, is our Down Home Gala.
Oh.
You know, every year we have quite an elaborate event.
Yes,
it's
you
our
do.
major fundraiser of the year. And this year we're getting back to our roots, as it were. And we're going to have the party at our house in Humphrey Heritage Village.
Yes.
And so it's our Down Home Gala. And I guess the best way to describe it is the 3 B's. We're going to have really good barbecue. We're going to have really good beer.
That's the only kind to have.
Yep. And a really good country band. The Jake Bowers Band. He's
Jake
a local
Bowers,
guy.
Yes.
And is making quite a name for himself, and we're happy that he and his band are going to be with us Friday night. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to be out in Humphrey Heritage Village under the lights, and we've got some surprises in store. We've got some fun games of chance that people will have the opportunity to play, and we've got some lovely auction items. John Rule, you may know him from our trappings of the Cherokee Strip. He's one of our artists that always attends. And he has created, especially for the gala, a beautiful hand-tooled picture of a hummingbird.
I'll be darned interesting.
And it is spectacular. And so that, along with several other very unique and handmade items, are going to be in our auction on Friday night.
Well, that's great. That's great.
You know, and it's not too late for people to sign up. It's $50 a person, and we still have a few reservations remaining, so hope people will come and join us.
And is that going to be down on the plaza, or is it?
No, it's going to be up in the village.
Up in the village.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great, because that's such a wonderful setting.
It is.
And this time of the year, it's really
It
super.
is. It's really spectacular. So a very casual hometown feel, and just fun. Fun Friday night.
And that's sponsored this year by the Sons and Daughters of
It is, you know, and we are so grateful to have the Sons and Daughters helping us this year as a sponsor. Of course, they have been tremendous sponsors throughout our history.
Yes.
But they have taken a real significant role in the gala and are underwriting
Wonderful.
the gala for this year. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yep. Well, and then September 16th, which is the following Friday.
That's right.
Are the Lantern Tours.
That's right.
And they are just very impressive.
Oh, well, thank you. This will be our 4th year, and as you know, the Lantern Tours change every year. I had a couple of people very surprised because they thought it was the same every year. But no, it is completely different every year. And this year, our main themes are alcohol, gambling, and politics. So, you know, who wouldn't want to come? Who wouldn't want to come and see that?
What has changed?
You're right. So
tell me, how will there be presentations?
Oh yes. What happens is we have a tour that starts every 15 minutes. It begins at 7 o'clock. A tour starts every 15 minutes. There's 15 people in each tour group.
Oh, okay.
And you walk through the scenes. It's almost like walking through a play. And so you stop at a scene and you watch the scene, you go to the next scene, and so on and so on. And so we'll have 9 different scenes.
9, oh my.
And inside and outside, inside the historic buildings and outside on the village green. And then the last scene includes music and refreshments.
Oh yes, okay.
So it's a fun way to kind of wrap up the tour.
It is. And I think that I'm recalling one that I attended where they had women suffragettes and the vote. And that
Yeah.
was really very, very good.
Yes.
And I know this will be too.
Yes, they are every year, and it sells out every year. So I would encourage people to go ahead and get their tickets. They're $10 each,
Okay,
and you can get them at the Heritage Center, of course,
and that's September 16th.
September the
a Friday,
16th. That's right,
beginning at 7.
beginning at 7. Now,
Okay.
before then, on the 14th, a couple of days earlier, we have our monthly brown bag
Right?
noon lecture, and those are held in the village church at noon, completely free. And we encourage people to just bring their lunch and take part in some very interesting conversation. This particular brown bag lecture is tied back to our Keep 'em Flying exhibit, which of course celebrates the 75th anniversary of
Right.
Vance Air Force Base. Jonathan Breinstein from Fort Sill
Oh,
will be coming to visit with us. He is the director and the curator of their Air Artillery Museum at Fort Sill. And he is going to share some research that he has come across on the 4 flying groups and fighting groups that flew the P-47N in World War II. And so that will tie nicely into Vance Air
will.
Force Base.
well,
And so we're looking forward to hearing what he has to say on the 14th.
and people can bring their lunch from Brahms or from whenever, from home.
That's
or
right.
from anywhere.
From anywhere. We don't
Okay.
care.
You don't, okay. And then the fall lecture series is coming later in the month.
Yes, this is the second installment of our fall lecture series, again, tied to the celebration of Vance. It is going to be on September the 29th. Our fall lectures are held in Gants Hall on
Oh,
the
yes, yeah.
Enid campus of Northern Oklahoma College. They begin at 7 o'clock. And this particular lecture is going to be with retired Colonel Chuck DeVellevue. He was the top ace from the Vietnam War.
Oh, goodness.
Has a very, very interesting story
Bet he does,
of
yes.
being a young man caught up in a war, and his experience while he was a fighter pilot there. So it will be a great fall lecture, and I think one that our community will really appreciate.
Well, there is actually a Vietnam veterans community, I think, in Enid that would be pretty should be pretty interested.
Yeah, so
interested in
we
that.
hope so. We hope that they will come and support him and encourage him as he shares his story with us.
You know, last lecture series, last month, was on Enid during the World War II.
Yes.
I found it very, very interesting.
Yes.
And the ration books, how DeWitt Waller assigned this distribution of ration books to the teachers. And this man did a great deal of research
He did.
to capture what was going on in Enid
Yes.
during World War II regarding the home front.
Yes.
I
Dr.
was-
Agnew did a great job.
I was very impressed with that. Not that that's a big deal, but he was just ready to go and good presenter.
Thank
Very
you.
good presenter.
Yeah, he really
It's
did
quality.
a nice job.
You see, the lecture series is a quality presentation, and their men or ladies that do it are people that have a background and have really gotten ready for that presentation.
That's
and they
true.
take questions.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes the questions are just as interesting as the presentation.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
I do too. That's exactly right. And is Turkey Creek School ongoing?
It is. You know, we are well into the school year now, and Turkey Creek School, as well as Pioneer Life, are filling up for this semester. And for those who are not familiar with Turkey Creek School, it is typically for 4th grade students.
Is it? Okay.
And they come and spend, it's by class, and any a school teacher, any fourth grade school teacher, can sign her class or his class up, and they come and spend the day as if it were 1910. You know, in our historic village, we have an actual one-room school.
Yes,
Turkey Creek
the
School.
Turkey
It
Creek
was
School.
an actual working school until 1947. And so the kids dress up in their pioneer clothing. They bring their lunch in a pail, and they're all they're ready. They have classes, and we have a resource manual for the teachers.
Oh,
so
do you?
they're prepared before they ever come and spend their day with us. And they play games that they would have played in 1910. They go through a typical school day. You know, what we have learned in our research is that the school marms were far more harsh than we are today in
yes.
our schools.
Different ball game today.
And so, you know, it is ma'am and sir and you know, mind your P's and
Yes,
Q's.
yes.
And so the kids really get an insight as to what it was like to be a child in the early 1900s.
And the schoolroom itself, as you touched on, is a 1910 schoolroom.
Yes.
With the old desks.
Yes.
And with a flag that has, I forget how many stars.
46.
46?
46
That's
stars.
an interesting
Yes.
fact, isn't it?
And yeah, so it is all current, you know, current to that period of 1910. They write with ink and nib pens.
Oh, do they?
And so, yeah, it is very, very interesting.
That.
And then the other program that is just as interesting is Pioneer Life, and it is for third grade students.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so they come and spend a day learning what it was like to be a pioneer. And they start out in the land office, filing their claim, just as you would have done on the day of the land run.
Oh, yes.
And then they proceed to set up their home and their settlement, and what did it take to do all that, you know? And they go through a day's chores. They grind coffee and wash clothes with the scrub board.
Yeah.
And they make flour and
They're
all sorts of
busy.
other. Oh yes, they're very, very busy.
And you know, Andy, the third and fourth grade students are so receptive
That's
to
true.
what they're doing and to this experience.
That's true.
And it's something that they'll remember a long time, maybe forever.
That's true. And let me touch, we have one more school program through the run of the Keep 'em Flying exhibit, and it's called Women in World War II. And it is for fifth grade through seniors, and they can come and spend a morning or an afternoon with us learning about the different jobs that women were doing while the men were away at war.
Yes.
And it is a very interesting curriculum too. And so I would encourage older teachers of older students, to take advantage of the Women of World War II program.
Things changed dramatically for the women
They
at
sure
that
did.
point.
Yeah, it really was a turning point.
A beginning of a change still probably going on.
Right.
Yeah, and that's right. Now, the Keep 'em Flying exhibit is still in
Through
evidence.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, that's November 12th.
November the 12th, yes.
Well, there's still time.
Still time, and if you
Yeah.
haven't seen that exhibit, I encourage you to come and see it. It's really wonderful.
Yes, it is. I really mean that, too. Now, to recap, we've got the Down Home Gala this Friday.
Yes,
Then the Lantern Tours on September 16th.
next Friday.
Next
yes.
Friday at 7 o'clock.
Yes,
And Brown Bag Lecture on the 14th.
yes,
And the Fall Lecture Series, September 29th.
right.
You got a busy time going
It
there.
is our busy time of year.
Yes. Well, that's really something. And people have this special opportunity, and the weather is great this
It
time
is.
of the year.
It's the perfect time to be out in the village.
It is. Well, Andy, thank you so very, very much for being
Very welcome.
here.
Thank
Very
you.
kind of you to come. Well, to our viewers, thank you so much for watching, and this is Community Talk.
Bobby Donaldson, and I'm with Senior Life Network. And Bobby is a very important person in the community that knows a lot about the nursing home industry, because that's what she has done for many, many years. And so that's what we're going to talk to you a little bit about today, is a program we're going to have at Oakwood Mall on Thursday, September the 14th at 11:30. And it's going to be called the Nursing Home Journey. And it's in the room across from Chen Garden. They're in the mall. They call that Center Court. It used to be the old Sugar Rush location. And so, Bobby, tell us a little bit about, well, first give us a little background about you, because lots of people know you, but they may not know all about you.
Well, I recently learned that evidently I'm the old nursing home lady. Someone stopped me one day and they said, "Are you Bobby Donaldson? Are you the old nursing home lady?" And I said, "Yes, I am." I love the nursing home industry, which I know is not the popular view. I love the opportunity we have to make it better and be there for others. And I love what they've given to me all these years, the precious memories I have of what's important. And so this program is for people to learn about the nursing homes. We have 4 local administrators with a lot of experience from different backgrounds and different focus. The nursing home's not something anybody ever sits around the Thanksgiving table and prepares for what they're going to do. But then you get that call in the middle of the night and you fly 1,000 miles and figure out, standing at the foot of a hospital bed, what you're going to do next. Or you even try to solve it over the phone. So some of the things we're going to try to tell that day, or we're going to talk about the dollars. Who pays for what? How does this work? Medicare does not cover anything for a nursing home stay in Oklahoma unless you're in skilled nursing, which is only a small window of recovery that requires qualifiers. Private and semi-private rooms, the ranges of rates, we're going to tell you a little about that at this meeting. We're going to talk about what to bring to the nursing home. Don't bring your really valuable jewelry and expect us to be able to watch after it. We have Alzheimer's patients. We need one person to make a bad decision, then you and us have a problem.
Right.
Respite care. I think respite care is probably a really underutilized thing. If your family is trying to care for someone at home,
and you just need a break once in a while.
But people, I don't know if they feel like they're abandoning them. I don't know. But there are many respite cares, and there are some finances for that. Hospice, of course, if you're reaching a place where you're end of life. Skilled nursing, we're going to talk about the qualifiers for that. We're going to talk about how you tell them that they're going to the nursing home. Sometimes the need is so severe that there's really not an issue there. They're kind of not involved in the decision, but the majority of the time it's resisted, and it's difficult for you and it's difficult for them. I've spent a lot of years having people say to me, "I promised my mother I'd never put her in a nursing home." Try not to do that, people.
That's probably a good point, because there becomes times with families, regardless of whether we want to do that or that the care just becomes too much for one spouse or another or a family member, and it almost becomes a necessity.
Well, and it's come to the point where it was like a threat or a bad thing. If you need that care, you need that care.
Right.
If you need groceries, you go to the grocery store. If you need dry cleaning, you drop your dry cleaning off. If you need help with your loved one because you still work or you can't physically do it or they can't be comfortable. My mother died in a nursing home, and we're a large family with some resources, but we couldn't manage the pain.
Right.
So we would have never promised her we'd let you be in pain before we put you in a nursing home. Nobody meant to say that. And then we're going to talk a little about how you pick one.
Right.
Talk about where they were from, and people say to me, "Well, we put Mama there even though we live in California because her friends are there."
Right.
Excuse me. You might want to talk about probably one of the most important things as an administrator and as a long-term care worker for over 50 years is what can you do to stay in their life? Can you visit? Can you
Right.
Skype? So work out those things, what's important to them.
Well, and that's a lot of the reason why we wanted to do this program, because Bobby receives a lot of phone calls in the middle of the night of people who are frantic, either people that are associates that she's worked along with over the years, or people that know that she's very resourceful and can be very helpful in this manner. But she receives a lot of phone calls that, it is a difficult decision, and you are normally kind of thrown into it at the last minute. It's not something that people normally talk a lot about and work it out prior. So the things that you can, if you can work some of those things out with your family and
it's
discuss
so
them
emotional.
before. Yes, it
So
is a very emotional.
If you can do it while you're not on that emotional plateau,
Right.
it's really good.
Right.
But we hope this panel gives you some knowledge. If you don't think that this is for you because you don't really have a parent you're thinking is
Right.
there, but this knowledge is so amazing. My husband works for a large company, and I've had them call me all the way from another state because they would say to me,
We know you
aren't
know.
aren't you the lady that your husband works for us and you know about the nursing home? And I'm going, yes, I am. And what I really know about the nursing home in Pennsylvania is simply that you need to go there,
Right.
get a feel for exactly what the personality is. A nursing home has as much personality as a school or
Right.
a house or anything else. There are some that
Yeah,
are
you can feel
really,
a warmth,
yeah.
or you can not feel that. So yes.
Well, and there are some with a lot of music, and there's, like, we had a home that I worked as a director for one time that had a wine and cheese Friday afternoon.
Oh,
thing.
wow.
And I'm like, cool, I don't know if they were trying to market to the social elite or the winos, but
Right.
it was kind of interesting. And then we had one that had like a square dance club.
Right.
And even after they were in the wheelchairs, the band came and played for them.
Oh,
and
but that's fun. Yeah.
so if
Well,
you have
and they
something
play,
that
you
is
know-
part of their life before,
Right.
Look for that.
Right, exactly. Well, and then, so what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that people face when they make these kind of decisions?
Well, the money's huge.
Right.
You're talking anywhere from $150 to $300 a day
Right.
if you have to private pay it. If you need financial help, we can tell you what those guidelines are. We can tell you what you're allowed to have in reserve, what you're allowed to
Right.
spend off for stuff. Some things that you should kind of be alerted to your parents doing that could disallow them for Medicaid, and then we've had
Right.
families be in a bind there because they made decisions that were disallowed and they couldn't unmake them. You need to, sometimes there's a family member who's ready at 64 to retire and
Right.
move in with mama because that's what they want to do.
Right.
And then you need to make legal arrangements for what's going to compensate her with mama's house or whatever. And all those things just need to be spelled out and written down ahead of time
Right.
because bad feelings after the fact are a horrible legacy for mama to leave.
Right. That's true.
It's just pets. Some people, especially when the spouse is gone, the pet is like their soulmate.
Right.
So if you can find a place that will allow them to have that and the pet's doable for that facility, those sometimes are things,
Right. Well, I think that, that's one of the things that we wanted to accomplish too. We are both involved in a group called Resource Alliance, and we have a lot of partners in that group that are from different nursing homes, and we try to provide an educational program every month, and this way we felt like it would give several people, it would be educational, but there will also be some marketing representatives from the different facilities there with some of their material, and they will be able to answer questions. And so we feel like it's a really going to be a beneficial thing. If you decide you want to attend this program, if you want to call Senior Life Network, and the number is 580-234-6060, and just give us your name so that we know how many to plan for lunch. But I think it's going to be a very informative program. Like, I don't know how many years of experience these people have. If we take Bobby plus the 4 people that we're having, they have a tremendous amount of knowledge.
It's a dinosaur program.
No.
Oh, yes.
But they have a tremendous amount of knowledge in this field. And so I think that people are very fortunate to be able to come and ask questions of these people, get some information, and make some decisions that are informed before you get to a point where you are in that crisis mode and you are at the end of the bed in the middle of the night going, okay, what do we need to do?
Well, and there's some preparations right now when you're not at that point. People in your church maybe are going to be
Right.
asking. And there are resources like there's an Alzheimer's support group if you're early on
Right.
in that disease. There is the Advantage program if you're home trying. So there are some things out there that might help people now and then add to what they can get later. So.
Well, I want to thank you again for joining us on Community Talk today. Thank you so much, Bobby, for joining us. And we're Senior Life Network at Oakwood Mall. And again, if you have any questions, just give us a call. I hope you have a great day.